Boom, it's 8:05. We're getting started. Anybody who's not on right now, they're going to have to catch up later, right? So welcome to the 800 Club. The purpose of this webinar, right, is to teach you, but also how to earn income off of good credit, right? I'm going to teach you guys exactly how I personally have been able to make over 6 figures in the pandemic. Welcome to the 800 Club. So, before we get started, I just want to congratulate you guys on making the most important decision you'll ever make in your life to begin your journey to a perfect credit score. And as a token of our appreciation for you guys showing up, not for us, but for yourselves, right? What we're going to do for you guys today is at the end of the webinar, if you stay on, we're going to give you our free cheat sheet that's going to teach you step by step on how to achieve an 800 plus credit score yourself in the next 90 days or less. So make sure that you stay on to the end, right? And like I said, share the blessing. Anybody that you know that needs access to this information that we're sharing, feel free to invite them on. So, like I said, with the cheat sheet that we're giving you guys, right, is going to give you guys step-by-step instructions to achieve an 800 plus credit score yourself in 90 days or less from today. Right. So I want you guys to, before we move forward, right, just answer this question in your own head. What would an 800 plus credit score do for your lifestyle in the next 90 days? What would that give you access to? What kind of changes would that help you make? Right. So what we're going to learn over the next 20 minutes, right? We're going to learn the 800 Club, the vision and the mission, who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do, right? You guys are going to learn how to get an 800 plus credit score in the next 90 days, like I just told you. Number 3, you're going to learn how to earn income, helping other people do the same. Like as you start your journey to a perfect credit score, you're going to learn how to earn income, helping other people improve their credit, if you so choose. Number 4, what we're going to learn today is how to turn credit into cash. This, for me, was the game changer, right? Because ever since we can remember, when we first started school, the only thing we can remember being taught is how, right, to turn effort into cash, how to exchange my energy, my livelihood for $1. And that is the exact definition of slavery. You understand me? So we're teaching people, we're showing people how to break free from this rat race, from the system of slavery that we're in. And number 5, last but not least, how to generate generational wealth for your family and or community. The Bible says a wise man leaves behind an inheritance for his children's children. So what we're doing isn't setting our children and our family up to succeed and to win in the long term, then what we're doing isn't worth anything, really. You understand me? So what we're doing in the 800 Club is, hey, we're not only giving access, but we're giving people belief. Like, hey, it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what your past looked like. It doesn't even matter what your credit score looks like right now. As long as you say yes today, right, in the next 90 days, we're guaranteeing you this is what your life going to look like. Right? Imagine being able to go anywhere in the country that you want and be able to get a house with no money down. Imagine being able to go online and apply for any credit card you want and not get denied. Right? That's what we're here for. That's what we're learning how to do. Right? So make sure that you guys are definitely present, right? Turn off your phones, turn off anything that's distracting you in the next 20 minutes. Because it's gonna make you miss your blessing. Right? So the founder of the club is myself, right? The son of Lamar Williams. I'm the founder of the 800 Club. I've been speaking now for about almost a decade, right? Nationally recognized motivational speaker and life coach. I'm the author of The Approval Algorithm, right? Trade line trigonometry and the leverage lifestyle. This is a 3-part series to our credit mastery series, right? That's teaching you guys exactly what to do to take control of your life and your credit. Right? The approval algorithm itself, you guys all in with the cheat sheet that you guys are getting for coming online today, our approval algorithm is included in that cheat sheet. So you'll see that as well, right? I've helped over 100 people, hundreds of people improve their credit and their lifestyle, right? And I have over 20 years experience in credit, right? So not only do I know what to do, but I know what not to do to keep you guys in alignment with what your dreams look like. So without vision, the people will perish. You understand me? So Proverbs 29:18 says that. So our vision at the 800 Club is through education and credit comprehension and financial literacy. We're providing the people with the information and the tools necessary to create true financial freedom and generational wealth. The goal is to make an 800 credit score the standard in the underprivileged and overworked communities by 2025 to ensure that everyone has access to a leveraged lifestyle, shifting the paradigm from working for money to making money work for you. Credit is king. And that's why we're the Credit Kings. Welcome to the 800 Club. Quick facts, guys. So out of 12.6 million people, right? 7.9% of Americans are currently unemployed due to the pandemic that we're currently in, right? And over 30% of Americans have bad credit, right? The average credit analyst, right, or person who works in credit makes $73,000 a year. I know some school teachers, some people with college degrees that don't even make this much money a year. So just by learning how to be a blessing, you can put yourself in position to really take care of yourself and your family forever, right? Because $73,000 a year is enough for you to start investing and start to begin to escape the rat race. In 2019, credit card companies had $74.8 billion in debt. Just imagine how many clients that is for us, or how many people, right, that needed help with that debt. And the credit repair industry is recession and pandemic proof, right? So not only is our industry like we're solidified, meaning that it doesn't matter what happens with our economy, it doesn't matter what happens with our country, right? What we're doing, our level of profession is solidified. We're always going to have something to do because guess what? Credit isn't going anywhere. And as long as we learn, as long as we know, right, how to improve our credit and how to help other people improve theirs, then our opportunity to earn income isn't going anywhere. So this takes us back to poll questions that I asked you guys to make sure and to get clear on exactly why you showed up for this webinar. Did you show up here to get an 800 plus credit score? Did you show up here to make money? Did you show up here for both? Because I'm definitely here for both, right? Even me in the process of it, you know, I'll be transparent. My credit score isn't 800 yet. I'm at about a 730, almost 740. But guess what? I know what to do, and I'm in progress of doing that in order to accomplish an 800 plus credit score. So this is a journey that we all get to enroll in and embark upon together. So nobody's by themselves. So it doesn't matter if your credit's been jacked up or screwed up your whole life. It doesn't matter if you're embarrassed, right? Or even what your credit report looks like. None of that matters. The only thing matters is the end result. The end result is 800. And everybody that's on this call right now or not has access to this. So advantages of good credit. You can get approved. First and foremost, I can't see you guys, so I'm not going to tell you to raise your hands, but just imagine how many people that's on this call right now who've submitted a credit application before that's been denied. We all know what being denied feels like. I never want to feel that again in my life, and I'm sure you guys don't either, right? So that's an advantage of having good credit. We don't have to get denied for any of our credit applications, right? You have an ability to borrow larger amounts of money. So guess what that means for the person who is laid off based on due to the COVID right now, or for the person that the small business entrepreneur, right? You'll have access to the capital up front that you need to make sure that your business is thriving and not just surviving. So you'll start off with higher success odds. Just imagine if you're able to start off a business with all of the leisure and all of the perks that a business is supposed to have and not be lacking anything. When we go through our neighborhoods in the underprivileged communities, we see a ton of businesses that never had a fair start, that didn't have the capital up front to even get good signs put on the storefront of their business, right? That didn't have the capital to pay their employees, that didn't have the capital to promote, to market, to advertise, to bring the customers in, right? So now we do. So if you can borrow more money, guess what? Whatever you're doing is going to have a higher success percentage because you have more capital to fund and to finance whatever it is you're doing. And being a part of the 800 Club, as you guys come in, I sit with and I talk with each one of you guys individually, and I help you get clear as I help myself, right, on exactly what your goals are and on how being a member of this club is going to help you realize your goals. That's what's most important, creating win-win situations. Because if I'm winning and you're not, then I'm losing. And if you're winning and I'm not, then you're losing. So the only way that we can both win together is that we're both winning together. So how can we create a win-win? You understand me? So learn how to leverage your credit for living expenses and investment capital, right? And most importantly, how to turn credit into cash. Those are the things that we're going to learn here today. And that we're going to continue learning on a consistent basis until it becomes second nature to you guys. So the disadvantages of bad credit. If you're anything like myself, you struggle with bad credit forever, right? I'm now 36. I just turned 36 on September 4th. And I'm finally in the position at 36 not to be a victim of my credit, but for my credit and for my situations to be a victim of me. So what does that look like? The disadvantages that I faced or that we face just dealing with bad credit in general is one, you get denied for credit cards and your loans, right? Number two, if you do get approved, and it's a big if on that, you get approved at the highest interest rates. So now we're talking about paying a possible 3% interest rate to a possible 9, 10, 11% interest rate, which depending on what we're talking about, if it's real estate, right, could be potentially tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars in difference, right? The third thing is difficulty renting. We have difficulty renting houses and apartments, so we can't get our family, our friends, or ourselves, like, like situated or stable. That can be stressful all within itself. Your security deposits on your utilities. You get possible denied unemployment and higher insurance premiums. So all in all, guys, it costs us more money, right, to have bad credit than it does to have good credit. So the people with bad credit, they actually end up spending more money over their lifetime and in their lifestyle than the people who with good credit. Because when I have good credit, people they don't even need or request me to spend anything. They're extending credit to me so I can spend their money, right? And that's how we do this thing. So here's the FICO breakdown. If you haven't already, right, go to our website, the800lifestyle.com. Right there on the top of the screen, on the left-hand side, you'll see a link that says check my credit report now. You can click that link and check all 3 of your credit reports for $1, right? It tells you everything that you need to know about every single account on your credit report. And it has all 3 credit bureaus listed, right? So once you know what your credit score is, you're now able to come back and say, hey, okay, this is where I fall in at. Very poor, or poor, below average, average, above average, very good, or excellent, right? So this is what I want you guys to know. So when you're looking at right here, the third line from the top, which says above average, anything from a 740 credit score to an 850 credit score, which is excellent, is considered stellar and excellent credit. Meaning that I'm going to pretty much be able to get approved for the same exact thing at a 740 as I would at an 850. You understand me? So the goal, right, is getting to those high sevens. Anything after that, we're just showing off, right? And we're really just being products of this 800 lifestyle. So right here, this just goes further into debt and is showing you guys how much bad credit can potentially cost us, right? So if you direct your attention to the right-hand side of the screen and look at the cars, right? So a person with good credit on the car that costs $20,000, right? If they finance this lease for 5 years, the person with good credit is going to get a 6%, right? APR on this lease, which is going to end them up only paying $387, right? As compared to the person with bad or no credit. For that same car that's worth $20,000 at a 5-year lease, that person going to pay over $200 more over that course of 24 months than the person with good credit. So if we take 200 times 24, that's 48. That's $4,800 that person spent more just for having bad credit than the person with good credit. You understand me? So when it talks about whatever, I wouldn't even care, honestly, if I had to pay, before I learned how to repair credit, I paid someone $2,000 to fix my credit. And I was not worried about that $2,000 that I spent whatsoever, because I was keenly aware that if they did fix my credit, what I would have access to from there would be worth way more than that $2,000 that I spent. You understand? So you guys just get to understand, like, okay, it's not just about having good credit. Now, the good credit just gives me access to more options and possibilities. And that's where things get fun at, guys. Right? So this is our approval algorithm. The approval algorithm is our secret system, which is what we use for our clients and for ourselves, right? To put our members in alignment with what creditors and lenders want to see in order to approve you, not only approve you, but at the lowest interest rates, right? So the first thing is you want to make sure that you have a perfect payment history. Your payment history makes up 35% of your credit score. So all the accounts reporting on your credit, you want to make sure that none of those accounts are reporting any negative payments. The second thing is you want to have less than 10% of your credit utilized. What that mean? That means if I have $1,000 credit card, right, I don't want to spend any more than $100 on that credit card. Because if I spend any more than $100 on that credit card, it's going to start then causing my score to decrease, because I'm raising above my credit utilization ratio. The third key is that you want to make sure that you have at least 7 years minimum credit age. Most of us might think or have been led to believe that, hey, I'm 30. Look, okay, whatever age you are, okay, myself, right? I'm 36. So the average person will believe that, hey, because I'm 36, my credit profile should be 36 too. That's false. Your credit is as old as the oldest reporting account on your credit. For most people, those are student loans. Why? Because as a young person graduating high school, coming into the world of their own, the first thing as an adult that you have access to apply with your credit is a student loan. So it will make sense that those are the oldest reporting accounts on most people's credit. You understand me? The next thing, number 4, is that you have a minimum of 5 positive reporting accounts, trade lines, reporting on your credit. So a trade line is anything that's reporting on your credit, whether it's a credit card bill, a home loan, a a auto loan, right? Utility bill, whatever's reporting on your credit. If you pull your credit report and you scroll down and you look at it, every single account that's listed is constituted as a trade line, right? So you want to make sure that your trade lines are less than 10% utilized. If you don't know how to do that, make sure that you send us an email or get with the person who invited you on this webinar, right? We're going to make sure that you learn how to calculate what your credit utilization is and to make sure that you're in alignment with what the creditors and lenders are looking for. And last but not least, you want to make sure that you have no new credit accounts or inquiries open in 90 days of you applying for whatever it is that your heart desires. So whoever invited you on this webinar right now, they told you something, that you will have access to something that you really want, right? And because you believed what they said, you got on this webinar. So now I want you to bring to mind what it is that you believed you could have. And I want you to really come to grasp with the fact that in 90 days from the day, right, you can have anything that you believe that you can have, right? Especially when it comes to this credit, because the average person, I'll consider myself the average person. I'll talk about myself. Before I learned how to do what I can do, I was plagued with bad credit. My credit was never over the 500s. I was in 500s all the way since I can remember to the age I was 35, right? Now, once I learned the information, literally, guys, in no more than 90 days, I took my credit from a 537 credit score to over a 700 plus. That's over 750 points in 90 days just from knowledge. But not the knowledge that they give us, it's the knowledge that they keep from us, right? And that's the knowledge that we're giving you guys today on this webinar and in these books right now. So we have the approval algorithm. We'll get you, make sure that you guys are up to speed on exactly what creditors and lenders are looking for to approve you at the lowest interest rates and for the highest credit limits, period. Then we have our trade line trigonometry. So like I said, a trade line is a record of activity for any type of credit extended to a borrower and it reported to a credit reporting agency. A trade line is established on a borrower's credit report when a borrower is approved for credit. The trade line records all of the activity associated with an account. So comprehensively, trade lines are used by credit reporting agencies to calculate a borrower's credit score. Differently, credit reporting agencies give different ways to the activities of trade lines when establishing a credit score for borrowers. And we'll go into that right now, right? So these are the different type of trade lines that we have access to. We have a primary trade line. A primary trade line is any account that you open yourself. So if you were to go on the internet right now and apply for a credit card and get approved for that credit card, right, that account is going to report on your credit. And that account will be your primary trade line because it was you as the primary who did it. The second thing, we have the authorized user. The authorized user, also known as piggybacking, is a trade line that belongs to someone else who adds you as a user in the account. The payment history for that particular trade line will then report on your credit in 30 to 45 days, resulting in an increased credit score. So what does that mean? Okay, let's take myself. I have a credit card. I've had my credit card for 4 years. I've made all my payments on time. I've utilized less than 15% of the available credit on that credit card. Because of that, that credit card is now a very powerful and strong trade line. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to call my credit card company and say, hey, add the son, Lamar Williams, my son, right, onto my credit card as an authorized user. Then guess what that's going to do? My trade line is then going to start reporting on my son's credit. So all of my credit history from that particular trade line, that particular account, will now reflect on my son's credit, resulting in an automatic boost in his credit. So when we're talking about piggybacking or how to jumpstart or raise our credit score fast, this is how we do it. It's done with trade lines. And also, the last but not least, we have access to having our utility accounts reporting on our credit and trade lines as well. So you can call your cell phone company. You can call one of your light, your gas, your electric, and you can tell them, hey, I want my payment history to begin reflecting on my credit so that I can establish a credit profile and a credit score. But make sure you do that only if your credit is positive and that your payment history with that particular account is positive, because it's going to report, right? But these are just more trade lines that we're able to add to our profile that's going to add value and add seasoning and add validation to our credit. You understand? So we also have a trade line network to where we're rewarding people who've been taking care of their credit. So if you're a person who's had a credit card for over 2 years, you made all your payments on time, and you're utilizing less than 15% of the available credit on that card, we can help you get paid. So that's definitely something that you want to DM us about as well and learn how to do. And last but not least, so the first thing is the approval algorithm. We learn how to get in alignment and get approved so that we're not denied for credit or loans anymore. The second thing is we learn how to add trade lines to our credit to then further increase or add value to our credit profiles. So if I have a 600 credit score and I add a trade line, right, that one trade line can potentially boost my credit score up to 80 to 100 points. You understand? So now, once I got all the negatives and now I have a good credit score, now I'm in position to leverage my credit and create a lifestyle that suits and serves me. So what does that look like? That looks like now I get to live life on credit. So instead of me working for money, right, now my money works for me. So most of us, when it comes to rent, bills, and expenses, how do you pay for these things? You pay for these things either with cash or paychecks. You know what I mean, with your employment income. And for those of us who are unemployed right now, you've been paying for it with EDD. But guess what it would mean if you could pay for these things on credit, right? I don't have to worry about running out of money now. I don't have to worry about running out of cash because I have credit, right? Boom. The second thing, how to turn credit into cash. Okay, so now that I've accomplished this stellar credit score, now that you've joined the 800 Club and I have a perfect credit score, what do I get to do now? Because I'm telling you guys, the perfect credit score is only where it begins. That's not the end of it. Once you get to a 740 plus, now you have access to what the big players in the game have access to. That's going to allow you to be a big player in the game or free yourself from the game in general. You understand? Number 3, we're going to learn how to use credit to generate new streams of income. How do I do that? I use my credit cards, right? Or the funds that's coming from either of my business experiences to then go ahead and invest in a small business, to invest in stocks, real estate, et cetera, et cetera. And we have a mastermind group of people who are really serious about masterminding their finances. So you guys will be part of a community of people who are really making the moves toward becoming financially free and financially independent. Are we headed for a cashless economy? So look, guys, just real quick, just pay attention to what's been happening over the last couple of years. Just outside of what I'm telling you, just think about it from your own perspective. With Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Pay, Zelle, there's so many different online platforms to upload your money in, right, and send it from. It's almost like they're coaxing us to be people and connoisseurs of digital currency, right? How many of you guys right now have a Cash App or a Venmo or a Zelle with cash in it? Or let's just think about a bank account. How many of you right now, every single dime that you have is invested in either a bank account, in one of these Venmos, Cash Apps, Zelles, or whatever, right? Guess what happens if we wake up tomorrow and our economy collapses? What do? Everything, every single dime that you've ever worked for, you have in the bank account that's been converted to digital currency, right? Which is a computer, and they can just put that zero on that computer and erase everything that you've ever owned, right? We really, once we start to come to grasp with this, we really realize how little control we have over our lives, right? So what is the economic collapse? And that economic collapse is a shock to a country's economy. Usually, when the crisis is widespread, the decline may have been preceded by a debt crisis, currency crisis, war, and supply shocks, right? The economy then enters a period of market recession or depression. We're in that period right now, guys. I don't know if you guys follow the stocks or not, but stocks are down, right? Everything is down right now, right? So for the wise person, for the investor, this is the perfect time to invest. The next 90 days for an investor, for a growth-minded person, will be the most important time you invest, because these next 90 days will be the time that you're going to be able to get in position to have the highest return on your investment, because you're going to be able to get whatever you're getting for such low rates. So here's the signs of an economic collapse. You have a national crisis. You have a debt crisis. Then you have a currency crisis, which then proceeds to increase in interest rates. So let's go back to the top. What's our national crisis right now? COVID-19. Right? And in relation to COVID-19, what happened? Our president, or our former president, Trump, right? We start giving crazy EDD and SBA loans out to people who the country knows are not going to be able to repay any of this debt. So the country has literally set itself up to collapse, because most of the people who we've given SBA loans to, who we've given EDD to, are not going to pay that back. So where is that money going to come from? It's not. It's not. So what happens when that happens? When that money doesn't come and we're in debt? That's when our currency decreases, which is the third step in the signs of economic collapse. That's when you start seeing the value of the dollar drop, which the value of the American dollar is down almost as high as it's been in history right now. And it's only going to continue to drop and plummet. So if we take notice and we take inventory of these signs, then hey, we see what we're heading to, and then we're able to make the necessary adjustments and precautions to get our family and ourselves in position to thrive under these circumstances. Because I'm telling you guys, like, things are rapidly heading for a change that nobody, not many of us, are prepared for. And I don't say this to instill fear in you guys. I say this to motivate you guys to get ready and to put yourselves in position to win when it does happen. Right? So we have a couple different ways you can be a part of the club. The first way, you can be a promoter. You can promote the club for us. With that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just somebody who's excited about the community. Like, you see what we're doing, you believe in the vision, and you know somebody who could benefit from what we're offering. and you promote them, right? You invite them to the community. You're able to make an income off of that. We have our credit services, right? We have our credit suite, which includes the removal of every negative account from your credit profile, and one trade line starts at $1,000. So, just for perspective purposes, you have the ability right now, as an 800 Club member, to offer anyone under your influence the opportunity to get a 700 plus credit score for $1,000. That 700 plus credit score is worth more than $100,000 to that person, right? And you can do that for them for 1%. So keep an open mind and just think about all the people who can benefit from who we are, what we do, and what we offer. Right? We have our highest credit sweep is the Royal Sweep. That includes the removal of most of our negative accounts and 3 trade lines, and we're guaranteeing a high 700 plus credit score with that. So get with the person who invited you on the webinar, get clear on the services, know where you want to go, so we can help you start at what's best for you to start at. Also, for you guys who are interested in, if you answer either B or C to our poll question, which is what you're most interested in, making money or both, we have a program that's set up for the people who've undergone our services to be able to generate income by being ambassadors, promoters of our products. So the average person, right, who's promoting our products can earn up to $2,500 a month. I'm not average, and I don't attract people who's average, right? So the opportunity on what we have access to is limitless, right? It's only limited by the caliber of your grind. We get paid a couple different ways. We get paid commission, we get paid wholesale, and we get paid on royalties. 3 different ways, right? So these are also things that you guys will get acclimated to and educated on as well. So thank you for joining our webinar, right? The mission, the intention, and the purpose was to shift your paradigm of this and to let you know what's possible. You do not have to work for money. You do not have to be subject to your credit score. You do not have to live a limited lifestyle because of your credit score. You can take action today and make the steps necessary toward improving the quality of your lifestyle and your family's lifestyle for generations to come. The choice and the decision is and will always be up to you. And my declaration and motivation and inspiration for you today is not to let today go to waste. There was a lot of people who laid down last night that wasn't blessed enough to be able to wake up today, and you were. So make sure that it was something today that you got a blessing from that you can share with others and pay it forward. I'll see you guys in the next webinar. We do this thing often. Definitely get with the person who invited you on and let them know how you want to get started with us. Whether if you just want to get started as a client or if you want to help us build this thing and give access to countless people across our nation to an 800 plus credit score. Love you guys to the end of the road and back. To the grind be the glory. For the glory be the grind. Fire up. If we have any questions, we will be allowing questions in a couple minutes.